Hey guys, it's Hans Hobbies, and today I have another video about my Redcat Volcano 16. If you guys haven't seen my unboxing and comparison videos and full review video for this, they're all up on my channel, so you can check that out if you want. For people who don't know this truck, this is Redcat Racing's um, cheapest model that they produce at the moment, as of this recording. It is a $99 four-wheel drive 1/16 scale monster truck, and overall it has a very nice look to it, and there's a lot of aftermarket parts available for it, and upgrade parts, as well as replacement parts are very readily available. So overall it's pretty decent for what it is, but the electronics on it, because of the price point, is unfortunately a little bit subpar. So this thing comes with uh, non-oil filled shocks and a 2-in-1 ESC receiver combo with a proprietary motor and a proprietary servo. And it is also not waterproof. So I decided to kind of put some money into this truck, put some work into this truck, and see if I could improve it, and see if I could get it to the point where it was something I was more happy with and more happy driving around. So it's the one major thing that I did, and people have seen this in the review video for this, but I put the oil-filled upgraded shocks on here. They are just plastic shocks, I believe. Yeah, the bodies are plastic, but it does have aluminum caps on it, top and bottom. And it is a decent shock. They don't leak that much or anything like that. The only thing I would recommend is you pour the stock oil out of these, because they do come pre-filled with oil, and fill it up with literally anything else. I used just the Tamiya soft spring soft shock oil, or probably around the 30 weight oil. And that seems to have improved the shocks a lot more, a lot better. So it has nice damping, but like it won't get rock hard and get really thick in chilly or cold temperatures. So you can see the damping of this is actually really nicely set up at the moment. It doesn't bottom out or anything like that. It handles really well. Not a lot of body roll. It's set up really well, and 30 weight shock oil is really easy to find, really cheap to find. So that's really nice. That's a really easy upgrade. Another thing I did was I changed the body clips to these mini Horizon Hobby style ones. They are a little bit harder to take off if you have really meaty fingers, but for me personally, I like these because they tend to stay on the body a lot better. The stock ones are a little bit thin and they get bent up and tend to come off really easily. So that's why um, I replaced them with those body clips. But taking the body off, you can see there's a number of changes on here. I've changed basically all the electronics in it. So you see a brushless ESC, brushless motor, 380 size brushless motor, and a new servo on here, and as well as a new receiver on here. So the thing about upgrading the electronics of this truck is, if you want to replace one part of the electronic system, or you have to replace all of it. So you want a new motor, you have to replace all of it. You want a new ESC, you have to replace all of it. You want a new radio, got to replace all of it. You want to replace the servo, got to replace all of it, if you don't want to use the stock parts. So that is a bit unfortunate with this truck. So this truck, as it sits right now, is no longer a $100 car. This is probably now, if you were to buy everything, this is a really cheap ESC motor combo I got from Amazon. This is probably 40 bucks, so 140 bucks right there. The receiver and controller, if you buy that new, that's probably gonna be another, probably around 30 bucks. So we're up to like 170 bucks there. Uh, if my math is incorrect, you guys can correct me and call me stupid. But the servo here is also a different servo on here. That's probably like a $10 servo, so 180 bucks. The shocks on here, they cost, I think they were like around $10, a little bit more than $10. So 190 right there. If you want to get new LiPo batteries, I'm running a LiPo battery in here now instead of the stock lithium ion battery. If you get LiPo batteries, that's probably like another 20 bucks. So this is like 220 bucks right here. For this, and in my opinion, for 220 bucks brushless monster truck, it is kind of on the cheap side still, but you could definitely do better, especially because of one major flaw with this. The ESC receiver combo works really well. The ESC motor combo works really well. The receiver on it works really well. It upgrades your radio from the stock cheap radio. This nicer FSGT3 or RCR2CE radio. So much nicer radio to use and just in your hand in general. So that's really nice. The servo is off of my ECX 1/18 scale vehicles. It's a really cheap servo. All I basically did was modify the servo horn a little bit. Oh no, I used the stock servo horn from the ECX and replaced the Redcat one. So now it has a better servo saver on there. So that's much nicer. So the servo is really nice. Battery, just a 1000 milliamp hour 2-cell LiPo in here. And so the overall setup of it is actually pretty decent at the moment. The major flaw though is the motor mesh. You can hear it already. It's pretty loud, and it doesn't have a metal spur gear. It's a plastic spur, but it almost sounds like it has a metal spur in it. And that's because the motor mesh is not adjustable on this truck, which is unfortunate. The motor mount only has 2 circular holes on it to mount the motor in just one position. You cannot adjust it, as far as I'm aware. What I had to actually do to get it even just to this point, so it's at least drivable, is I had to oval out the holes on the motor mount and mount it that way. So that's a little bit unfortunate. And as loud as it is right now, it gets worse, as you'll see in the driving video. But so basically you can only use the stock pinion gear on here, but the problem is the stock pinion gear is a weird size and will not fit most aftermarket motor shafts. So I have a new pinion gear for it for that purpose, but unfortunately it did not fit. So that is also pretty unfortunate. So that's probably the biggest downside of upgrading this truck is the motor mesh issue. Other than that, it seems like it's pretty good. But instead of talking about it, let's go outside and let you guys see for yourselves how this thing drives. So we have the Volcano 16 outside, and here's how it runs. The first thing that's immediately apparent is the gear mesh is still not perfect. So it absolutely screams, like, and it's not in a good way. It's a very unpleasant, almost like high-pitched screeching noise. You can see it's popping wheelies. It's a lot more peppy than it used to be. So the power is good. But that gear mesh the gears aren't getting damaged or anything, but I don't know. The pinion gear I used, and I couldn't really seem to find a pinion gear that would work because, like I mentioned earlier, the gear mesh isn't actually adjustable. You can only use one position in that one stock pinion gear. So you can see you're having to flip it over a lot more often because it is a lot more high speed. But other than the unpleasant noise, the performance of it is actually pretty good. And the oil-filled shocks, I've just put like regular Tamiya 30 weight oil in there, and the damping rate's also really good. Let's see how it jumps a little bit. So overall, the jumping is really good. The jumping performance is really good. The overall acceleration and just overall performance of it's really good. The servo I changed up is also pretty good. But that noise is just unpleasant. But yeah, probably won't actually won't run down the rest of this battery because it's just too unpleasant to drive with that noise. So let's just go back inside, I guess. So as you guys saw, that motor mesh is pretty terrible. It's at a point where the mesh is actually okay, to the point where like it's not grinding or anything. It's not like really pressed up against each other or anything like that. But I don't know. It's still not perfect. So that is probably the only major flaw that's left with the way this is set up at the moment. I love how it drives. I love the power of it now. I love the shock setup of it now. I love the way it handles, the way it drives overall. It's really nice. The brushless motor combo, even though it's a really cheap, crappy one, it does seem to work pretty well. So pretty happy with that. Obviously, the radio is really nice, so that's really good. But that motor mesh issue is just something I can't get over. It's bad to the point where it's actually unpleasant for me to drive. I have other trucks that are really, really loud, like my Redcat RC-MT10E, which has metal spur gear and metal drivetrain. Same thing with my Landslide, Redcat Landslide, which has a full metal drivetrain. Those trucks are loud, but it's loud in a way where I don't know. It's not loud to the point where it's unpleasant. It's not a frequency where it's unpleasant. This one is actually unpleasant to drive. Some people, it might give them migraines. For me, I have kind of sensitive ears because I have slightly damaged ears, at least on one side, and it really like pierces my ear and it makes it really unpleasant to drive, which is unfortunate because, like I keep saying, everything else about it is really good, and I would actually keep it around and keep driving it. But that motor mesh issue is a little bit is a little bit annoying, and uh, I could definitely go and fix it, but with all the stuff I have to do right now with all the other projects, all the other builds and school and all that, I really don't feel like putting more time and effort into this. I just shoved the brushless motor in there just to see if it worked, and it does work aside from that motor mesh. So if anyone can figure out a better motor mesh solution, or maybe a different pinion gear solution, maybe someone can try out the metal gear drivetrain that's available for it. I don't know. Those are things I was originally planning on trying out myself and reporting back to you guys, but I don't know. It's something I'm kind of over it at this point. Maybe at some point I'll revisit it and get another one and try to do that full metal drivetrain conversion again. I don't know, but for now, I have plenty of other trucks to drive. I have plenty of other trucks I need to review and get through, so I can't really waste more time on this. And also, my friend has been pretty interested in this truck, so it will be going over to my friend for right now, so he can mess with it, he can play with it. Maybe he can figure out a different motor mesh or different pinion gear for that. But I'm gonna let him mess with it, let him play with it, and if he gets bored with it, maybe he'll end up coming back over here, or maybe he'll sell it off and someone else can play with it or something like that. So anyway, I really wanted to end this video on a positive note. I really wanted to enjoy this truck. I was originally planning for this truck to really stick around my collection for a while, but I don't know. I've just decided to move on to other things, and the area that this thing fits into my 1/16 scale Summit does better. So I don't really see the point of keeping this one around for much longer. So yeah, that's what all I have to say about it for now. And if you guys enjoyed this video or have any suggestions or comments about the way I set up this truck, or if you guys have done it better, let me know, and let other people know. But that's my experience with this so far. If you guys enjoyed this video or any of the other videos I have made, please give me a like, subscribe, comment down below, all that good YouTube shenanigans, and I will see you guys next time.